Great rising, guys. Let's talk about baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things, all the bad things. Sex, baby. Let's talk. Y'all remember that song? I feel like someone didn't ever get that talk. I know I didn't. However, I feel like this is for all the kids that had to like call it traumatic, call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm as honest as it gets. I don't care. Like, people don't even understand. I don't care. You ever had to see your grandma or your mom, do to do for the money in front of you? Okay. Then, you know what I'm saying? Don't cry about it. Just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Weird things happen in life. People need to understand that. That's why it's like the capability to be who you are. It's just who you are, you know what I'm saying? And it just formulates in different forms in art, okay? You want to know some funny facts, right? And the government puts it out here. However, no one actually just connects the dots with anything. And I like to play connect the dots. My neurodivergentness, it just likes to connect dots. I just like stuff to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Curiosity sometimes kills the cat. And I learned, you know what I'm saying? I was absolutely correct when I said, like, when that flag is flown half staff, it's purge season. So it's like they'll tell you, when you look up the government document, when it says, oh, it's flying staff, that means the president, the governor, or the mayor is mourning. Yeah, we're mourning, all right. How many people did we get down? Did we at least get 35,000 down? It doesn't matter where, just long as each state is reporting back to us. Okay, just long as each states. It's no different from World Health Organization, CDC. It's no different from any of those things, okay? It's just logical sense. To me, this is just basic common sense. Just like when it comes to herpes, AIDS, HIV. HIV could be, okay, let's put it this way. HIV and AIDS can be managed. Meaning it's like, it's not a death sentence. It's a way to manage it and still have a healthy life, or, intercourse or partnerships and relationships. It's not an end all be all. Not for everybody, but some people would just be like, ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And that is completely okay. That's just not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that date people with disabilities and, things so forth. It's just not for you. It's for somebody else, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You do not know what another person sees in another person. That's why it gets sometimes irritating. They're just with you because you get this and that. And it's like, shit, that motherfucker got a PhD. They run probably the company you work for, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do research on you for speaking so negatively. Like, they probably got something 10 times more than what it is that you even have, let alone what you fucking need. Quadruple that. That's why I tell people, be careful, like, not to talk about people. Like, you just don't do that. And then it's like, the sex is very important. Like, who you sleep with is important. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you just get an inkling and stuff like that, and you just want to hop from bed to bed, know who you're sleeping with. That's why when it comes to people telling you, know your worth. Like, anytime, even when I had my moment where I had went into like this hypersexual drive, I had to have a clear understanding, like, hey, you got to manage this. But if you're going to be out here like that, you got to protect yourself. As a woman, birth control and protection at all times. Double strap. If you don't know where it been, it's not going in my mouth or anywhere, because I don't know where you've been. You know what I'm saying? It could be all kinds of contaminated. You don't know. However, if you put yourself in position to understand, like, hey, either abstinence, celibacy, or protection. You know what I'm saying? If you're a woman, you don't want no kids, make sure you get protection. Meaning, make sure your birth control, your pills, your shot, your injection is all up to date before you be like, hey, let's hit the hay. Make sure all that is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people all the time how I felt myself, because it's like, Shit, even herpes can actually be cured, and it's just your body reaction to it, and you're a carrier of it. So a lot of people don't realize, yes, you get it from dirty wanky wank going everywhere, or dirty cuckoo that likes to slap her poo poo on every cuckoo she can get it on, because women get it too, you know what I'm saying? Herpes and stuff like that, you can spread it amongst each other, because y'all actually having fluid to fluid contact versus the penetration. Now you get an internal, you know what I'm saying, you get it internally, not only externally. And some of y'all, it's a lady that does a video of about the appearance of it. Like, some of y'all do be just having ingrown hairs and it look like it is some of that. Know the difference between an ingrown hair, a blister, or just something epidermis, or if it's actually the STI or STD. Know this. However, it's important, before you hopping from bed to bed, get checked. Get checked. Your safest moment, like I tell people, even if you broke up with your boyfriend, you're pregnant and stuff like that, you don't need to be having sex nobody else in my bed. Okay, listen, as a woman that been pregnant too many times, honey, I'll be the first one to tell you, if your paper's coming back clean after you get done messing with him, and he call you, oh, I got this from you, baby, my papers are clean. I don't know what you got going on, but I'm clean. And it's like, if you're gonna be pregnant and you're gonna talk to someone else, you just tell them, hey, before we involve in intercourse or whatever the case may be, do you mind getting tested? And that's the safety for you and your child. I know a lot of people gonna be like, why you did? Baby, it's just the truth. It's life. It's reality. Life still goes on. Her life doesn't just stop because she's carrying his child. He's still out here going about, hopping into his or hers or them they's draws. So she got a right to go ahead and go do what it is that she wants to go do. It's her body, long she taking the safety precautions to make sure that herself and that baby's well-being is taken care of, and along with the partner, whoever she decides to sleep with. If everybody got clean rep shits, everybody can do what it is that is going to make them do what it do, and there's no conversation about it at all times. If you just on dating sites, strap up every time. I don't care if hey, let me get that net, put one on there, because you can get oral herpes. I feel like somebody just didn't get this trying to talk. Gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, hepatitis, herpes, HPV. And you don't only just get a shot with that. Sometimes you got to get a shot, take pills, antibiotics, and stuff like that, because you don't know how long this stuff been in your system. You could probably really be good at giving the throat and be like, dang, why I keep getting tonsillitis and all this stuff on the back of my throat? Because you putting dirty wang in there. Sometimes, hey, you are practicing the safe part of it, but hey, the safeness, you may be having a throat allergic reaction because the material or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, hey, I would prefer to do this, with and mind you, you probably don't, you're clean or whatever, but it's like, you didn't get this person tested to even have that. I don't care if it's the same sex or heterosexual. Those things are important. Knowing what you have, knowing what you got going on is very important. Now you're sitting here, oh, I got this STD. No, baby, ain't nobody's mad. You over here throwing it out there. You throwing it in the circle to everybody. You throwing bussy out here, boy booty out here to everybody. And you're throwing, your wang to every girl, Keisha, Tisha you can. And then some of y'all double dipping into the cuckoo, into the P9. So now it's just, you just making a whole culture of germs, bacteria, and Lord knows who's what come up. Now you're sitting there, oh, my life is over. Well, that's just personal choice instead of you taking the precautions. That's why I tell people, like, you have to be straight up and honest. If you're going to start relationships, be straight up and honest about what it is that you are into, what you like, what you do. You speak honestly. And if you don't feel you can speak directly or direct to a person, don't start it. Don't even waste it. Hey, unless you can just be for real and be like, hey, I'm just looking for, a smash buddy. All right. Shit. Ask logical questions. Are you going to be getting tested in between? Yes or no? If it's a no, then keep it fucking pushing, because you already know, like, hey, I know you're going to be out here hoeing and tricking or whatever the case may be, but are you willing to keep it clean for us to be even to do that? No. Are you able to be open and honest about if you are going to do that? No. Okay. Are you at least open and honest to say, hey, the time frame between me and no? Okay, then we move along. You ain't missing nothing with that person. That person just has no self-respect and no self-worth. Those are things to pay attention to. If you get into another thing where people will tell you, I'm here with the intention to date. I'm here with the intention, the intent to actually, you know, love or be in a situation. People state those intent. That's why I tell people, say what you mean and mean what you say. Be completely direct. Like for me, yeah, I could probably do all this any day, all day. But I'm not looking just because you sit in front of me or you're talking to the top. I'm not for to read your fucking mind. Tell me what it is that you need and what it is that you want. Only you know what you need. Anything that's coming from me is a projection or an opinion. So state what you need and what you want. Be direct as possible. Because the worst that anyone can tell you is yes or no. And if you know that, hey, I respect my body, and especially if you're a person, hey, I done fought to get my body back into this healthy position, healthy mind, thinking, eating, you got yourself aligned, like whether you a man and you doing semen retention, whether you a woman and you practice celibacy, men practice celibacy too. And if y'all been practicing that and you doing that, do you feel it's worth for you to let that go just because it's for good old time's sakes? No. Ain't no putting on Luther Vandross and rocket for good old time's sakes. No. When was the last time you did something with that? Is it a snake or is it actually clean? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're either here for one or two things. So the important thing of it is, it doesn't matter if circumcised or uncircumcised. Did you get that thing tested? You got tested for everything, the full panel, the syphilis, hepatitis, herpes, HIV, AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, all that stuff. Okay, trichomonas, all of that. Okay, I need all that to come back, clear. All that need to come back negative. That and then we can do what we do. Freely, happily, safely. Shit, they used to have those classes way back in the day, but they took it away just as quick as they gave it. Y'all know that HIV came from a white dude that went out to Africa and the Congo? Meaning the research of them having to figure that out, that happened in 1959. That's when they were doing their expenditures. The last of butt bucking. And people, not being retained as they supposed to and being behaved as they should. Want to do something strange, a little exotic, a little kink. And came back with a little something that the body is not accustomed to in the United States. Which leads to, hey, we have no cure for this. How they're able to live this long without medication and help. And it's like, oh, we got to feed Africa. Shit, Africa, they doing their own thing. They just got to reconstruct, because it's like, where do you find the corruption? There's so much corruption. Shit, it's too easy to be greedy anywhere. It doesn't matter in any nation. But if you find balance and pure understanding, like, hey, you keep that business over there and we keep this business over here. Red pill, blue pill. Hero, villain. The government versus the people. The public and the people. How do we want to address this? It doesn't matter. Everybody has a propaganda agenda and numbers. It's a numbers game. To them, that aspect is a numbers game. But then do we think of anything of now in the United States? Right now, the United States got a way to go ahead and reverse this, to keep from going to what's about to occur. And that's why it's like, if you don't want to get caught up in it, it's best to be out the US right now. I'll come back as soon as I get the all clear. All clear. Shit, I'm accustomed to racism and people being rude, trying to steal and stuff like that. At least I can pay attention to that. Shit, at least I know when someone's trying to kidnap you. You know when somebody's trying to not only kidnap you, traffic you, sex traffic you. Those things, you need to know those cues. That's why a lot of people disregard certain things that they watch. I don't care if you're a white person. If you see that girl, I think she wear a dress. I don't know her name, but she basically give you hood safety tips. She's like, shit, I don't want you to be sitting there calling 911. She was talking about shit, her child getting snatched up or something like that. She said, scream world star and scream out where you are. Screaming location and stuff like that, where you are. You know, I know what I put on you before you left and stuff like that. Y'all need to teach our kids that accountability and responsibility of why it is that, yeah, you seeing everything here on social media and shit like that. And I'm buying you these things until you don't start walking into your confidence to know what it is that you like fashion wise and stuff like that. That's why I tell people, invest into your children. They're gonna let you know what they into, what they like and stuff like that. And especially if they love how you dress them, they won't ever complain about anything. If your children love how you got a good taste in fashion and stuff like that, shit, them kids ain't gonna ever complain about what you bought them. Like, shit, look, my mama did, where you get that from? My mama just made me this outfit, or my mama just put this on. Girl, who did y'all have? It's like the pride and joy of all that enjoyment for kids to step into the individuality has been stripped. Because we can't even keep them safe, but you can't keep them safe because y'all been so stressed out and worried about the money. Shit, I would prefer to be in my house damn near about to be evicted. Shit, I got 90 days. Shit, at least I'm going to be smart enough to come up with something in 90 days. Some of y'all out here, the craziest things, a lot of people... Tell me I'm bullshitting. I guarantee a lot of people that's running Twitter or OnlyFans pages, if your ass is not registered, did you not know that you used to have to register to be a prostitute? And it's a rule that they had since like 1892, 1898 or some shit like that. 1800s, early 1921. Bootleggers and the Harlem Renaissance and shit was happening. And shit, when the Harlem shit, 1920s, that's when black people was actually able to step out into the communities. That's the reason being why homosexuality was so shunned. Because it was some black people that took advantage of it. Like, they knew, oh, this motherfucker's still coming off the plantation. So they still gonna be willing to, if we punk them enough, shit, we can go ahead and get, you know what I'm saying? It was black dudes that they wasn't into it, but shit, they knew what they had to do to turn some of these dudes into tricks too. Yeah. But shit, if the government is offering you like, hey, shit, I seen what you did to dude, and I could easily give you prison time, but can you do that to me too? You know what I'm saying? Like back in 1950s, police and stuff like that, they used to do all this kind of crazy nonsense down into the government. And it's just it's a sense of control. That's why I tell people, step into your power about what it is that you want. Like, you can still be modest and be conservative, but have those outward conversations that you feel like it's going to be so uncomfortable. And the more uncomfortable you are in situations or conversations, the easier you make in the situation to come closer to a solution. It don't matter how uncomfortable it is. Shall I be concerned? Oh, my emotional well-being is stressing me out. It's going to cause me to commit suicide. Well, shit, guess what? One less reason to go ahead and commit fucking genocide. You're going to take yourself out either fucking way. So why would I be stressed the fuck out about that? What? But it's basic common sense of how people think about a lot of stuff that you go through. When you go into, I got me some arthritis. I got me some asthma. I got me some aneurysms in my back, and my diabetes, and my gout, and my gut. Okay, what you gonna do about that? Well, they gave me these and these. Well, shit, they well aware that those are very addicting. Now, with those being very addicting, they ain't did no research on your full family because you ain't signed the proper forms yet. So they can't, officially govern you yet. You know what I'm saying? But they know who they gave these opioids to. And it's just taking them a bit for the narcotics and homeland security. They can't regulate this shit. That's why people can get away with selling cocaine and Percocets and certain pills and shit like that. The only reason why I can get away so easily is it's not able to be regulated because they can't pinpoint where is it coming from. You're not gonna be able to pinpoint it because y'all don't want to pay attention to the major shit because it's like I'm trying to get to the big fish. Shit, you ain't getting to the big fish. That fish leads to a bigger fish, to a bigger fish, to a bigger fish, but then it leads to oh shit, how do you know this shit? The red button that sits at the end of the very big table. Put this on voice recorder. Let's see what this person is going to say today. There's nothing that goes on in here. Shit, tap into the NSA. Shit, anybody with access to the NSA, shit, you got access to everything. I don't know what kind of bird that just flew across my window like that. Shit, that's why Elon Musk got so much access to so much shit. It's just like shit. Who's gonna fucking fuck with Elon Musk? This motherfucker read the darkest of the darkest shit that there is to fucking read on the fucking universe, which I find is very interesting. But I can tell you that motherfucker is so like, I don't feel like he has an interest in humans at all. Like physically, he is like, hey, my wife, my kid. He still lives with his first wife. But the life that she had to go through just to get where she is, she ain't going back to that shit. Elon Musk's first wife, point him out, wanted to turn him to a slut. His first wife, she slutted his ass out, but it's just like, you figure that shit out. It's real life shit. You can just simply research it and put the dots together. But it's just like, perfectly make clear sense about what it is that you're doing. I'm telling you, if you work Twitter, OnlyFans, Pornhub, any of those things, and you are not registered sexually, if you have not even went to the clinic, the health department, you actually are regulated to do that. They tell you about how to do your taxes, the 1099 and all this other stuff. But the one part that they fail to tell you, that you are supposed to legally register yourself as an actual prostitute or a high class escort. Is no difference, because once you can put on a high class escort, that shit is still going to be considered luxury prostitution. Okay. Now, those just comes with a higher being. So that's why when certain companies go down, they be like, damn, we got rated, because you're the fucking idiot, okay? But then you're even more so of a fucking idiot. That's why they've been changing the laws and governments. That's why I couldn't understand it. Like, if the frontal lobe of the brain does not actually fully develops for a child until they're basically 20. The frontal lobe that you need, the frontal cortex of your brain that you need to make logical, solid decisions to say, hey, I'm capable of doing X, Y, Z. That's why, like, when girls are forced to have the kids younger, they tend to be more stern and more responsible. Vice versa, someone having their kids early, they just more stable, they're able to handle this stuff, versus as you having a kid in your teens, you got to work through the emotional, the support, all that other stuff that you should have just been doing before. Let's talk about sex. Before you decided to have sex, you should have just made sure, hey, I'm in a stable place. I done had enough relationships to, break up to make up. I done had plenty of, situations where I could, do better. Whatever the case may be that you wanted to do in your life, whether it's explore, travel the world, whatever. But safety of sex is very important. Your sexuality is very important. That's why it doesn't matter, like, if you got married and stuff like that. That's why I said there are private societies, secret societies where they do this, you spice up your marriage and stuff like that. But it'll tell you you need to be disease and drug free, invite only, or you have to pay memberships for those type of things, and that is completely understandable. For other people, I wouldn't understand it. Hey, no, that is just for people that's saying, hey, our quick little 1-2 ain't doing it for us real quick. Let's go to this retreat and go see this in live. Shit, we ain't gotta just turn it on to our TV screen. Shit, we can go watch this shit. We ain't gotta participate, or we can choose to participate. But hey, that's your ethical or relationship being of things. That's you guys' thing that y'all do amongst the bedroom. If friends come amongst you, cool, but it's not meant for you to share amongst friends. That is not friends, because that's something that people will use as leverage. If you just so happen to see people that you work with and stuff like that, that's why they do masquerades or people dressing up in costumes. There's different things, because people just be so afraid of being themselves that they don't feel like they will be accepted. And it's because of how they set things up socially and economically. So the macro of the people and the micro of the people. So you got people under a microscope, and the people on the macroscope can see into the macroscope, because they probably either came from there to be in the more mega. But then it's like, if you're coming from the microscope and working your way into the macro, it's going to probably look like a whole different world. But in the aspect, you're going to have way more in the macro part of it, because it's just a small. But then this is even bigger. But if you experience the small, while the smaller and bigger portions, that bigger situation is going to seem more smaller. So it's just like, instead of prolonging, hey, if your pH seems like it's a little off, go hit that clinic, baby. It could be BV, it could probably be something, it could be yeast, but it's better for you to know. I remember I was telling them, like, yo, like, when I was going to the VA, and I'm telling them, like, yo, the biggest thing of it is, and this lady is like, how are you keeping your composure? Because, lady, if I don't keep my composure, you might get slapped for the fact that he's not here for me to slap him. But the biggest part, well, what if someone is changing it? You should have asked. The first question that she should have been asking me, are you safe? Are you okay? She wasn't asking none of that stuff. That's why I was just like, look, I don't even know if I want to deal with the VA when it comes to my medical. Because it was so much games and gaslighting and stuff like that. It's like, you ain't got time for this. And it's all for the love of money. That's all. If you gonna sell it, honey, shoot, if you a woman, be smart enough. Like, I tell them, you go be gay for pay. Shit, they'll pay you a whole lot of money. Women, hey, you do girl on girl, they pay you a whole lot of money. But it's easy money. So do you want to do something that's easy? And throw away your whole integrity and your dignity? That's on you. But that's just the societal view of everything. But it's just like, but if you feel that's what you have to do to get what it is that you need financially, that's on you, boo. No judgment. That's just what you do. Now, the biggest part of it is your character. Yeah, you do that. It seems a little dark. It's a little weird, a little off and different. However, what is it that you're able to do different? Are you a good person? Do you look out for the homeless? You know what I'm saying? Do you take care of the children safely? You're not doing no pedophile type stuff. Like, are you doing stuff to actually help the community? Like, with this money that you get, are you doing something positive with it? Because if there's nothing positive with it, what's the point of you even doing it? I had to take care of it. Okay, but is it just to take care of that and the lifestyle you like to live, or just to make it look good on Instagram? Like, which is it? So, practice safety before anything, precautions before anything. It's the same thing with my kid. My son asked me, how do babies come out? Or, what's a uterus? What does the vagina do? Like, I had the whole conversation like he's 13. So why not talk to him about sexual prowess and things like that? Same sex, transgender. I talk to him about everything. And a lot of people, because he's of age, for one. Two, he needs to understand it, because why would I want him to go learn it from someone else? Like, shit, if he see it on the internet, he see it, hey, mom, I ran across a porn video. I would prefer him to feel comfortable and be like, hey, shit, mom, I ran across a porn video type thing. Oh, you did? Okay. What did you learn from it? How did it make you feel? I might not understand it fully because I don't know what it will make, the man function parts do. But it's like, hey, he'll explain it to the best of his ability, and I'll explain to the best of his ability. Like, hey, son, I know it looked great, it looks fun and everything, but however, safe sex is the best sex that you will ever have in your life. But make sure that if you're gonna do it right and be respectful. If you're gonna deal with the girl for a few times, let her know. If it was just for a one night stand, let her know. Be honest, because the last thing you need is, issues or something like that. But just be honest. He's like, oh, okay. Condom sizes, the brand, all that. I had that conversation with my kid, and it's like, that was the happiest joy moment of me as being a mother. It's like, shit, I'm not a father. It would have been great to come from a man, but shit, I did that. So honor that. Have that sex talk with your kids, man. And if it's about their sexuality, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Is it disappointing? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a mother. And I was like, I know a lot of men, some men that do step into it and stuff like that, that actually choose to decide that, hey, I'm going to be gay. I'm not going to be with a man or a woman. I'm going to be gay. You don't feel like it's disappointing for the parents to be like, oh, damn. But, you know what I'm saying? They sit back, but then they take on it's like, you know what? They're happy. That's what all that matters as a parent. They're happy. And your job is to love them and support them to the best of your ability that you can. And then just study or understand as much as about the community as you can and go about your business. If it's curiosity, hey, you have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? Son or daughter. If your daughter is curious about, oh, I don't know if I'm, if I like girls or guys, or I mess with girls and guys. Okay, well, baby, I'm gonna be the first parent of all parents. Choose a side. Is you lesbian or is you straight? Like, shit, choose. Well, I like them both. Okay, yeah, it's good that you like them both, but you need to choose a side, because guess what? People get hurt in that. So choose a side. Unless y'all just all, three, want to be together, then that's y'all prerogative. Are you happy? Are you safe? It's my duty. You. Nobody else. And even then, you still have that STD, STI, HIV, AIDS conversation just as well. You have about, when babies happen. You let your teenagers know, hey, when you start getting them periods and stuff like that, this is what a period look like. This is what it feel like. This is how you keep your pads clean. This is how you keep your hoo-ha clean. When that time of the month come and stuff like that, and your child not sexually active, then you ain't got to teach them about the yoni. But then when they start, you still feel like they're getting of age of stuff like that. Teach your daughters, hey, you clean your poo-poo. You know what I'm saying? You make sure that your poo-poo is clean. Change your pad. If you're going to wear, be wearing them pads, change them every 4 hours. Depending on how much they bleeding. You keep your spray on you so you can keep it fresh in there, because shit, sometimes it smell like metal coins and stuff like that, dead bodies. You just don't know what's going to be coming out of there. But if your daughter's starting to have an odor with it, 3 days before the cycle, a week before her cycle, and 3 days after the cycle, do a yoni. Give her the yoni pearls or a yoni steam, and help her, get her pH in order. So teach your daughters about their pH and how to get it in order. I didn't have nobody ever teach me that, tell me that, but I learned. Hey, if she's gonna keep the hair on there, hey, keep it trimmed up, keep it cleaned up. You ain't got to shave it off. It ain't got to be bare naked, but keep it cleaned up and stuff like that. Your panty line, keep it, down just as much. Or if not, get waxed. That's the best method, is being waxed, so you don't have ingrown hairs type thing. For men, manscaping, making sure, you know what I'm saying, if you gonna be doing your boy on boy thing, doing your bussy thing, getting it waxed back there and stuff like that, keeping it clean, keeping it manscaped, that's important too. But safety, getting your tests and stuff like that, that's important just as well. Having that conversation about, how many partners, are you active like that? Are you out here like that? Those conversations are important. Protection, what type of protection are you, lubes, what kind of lubes do you use? Those kind of things. Those conversations do need to be had. But that's our actual salt conversation on that. But the research and stuff like that, y'all research that stuff. Magic, what Kanye says, Kanye has said, Magic Johnson got a cure for AIDS, and all the broke motherfuckers had to pass away. So there's a cure for it, but the broke ones had to pass away. But hey, scare tactics, all tactics, but that talk, the sexual talk, is very important. Okay? Either you're going to choose to let it be your threat, or you're going to choose to let it be your downfall. Either way, it's still low vibrational if you don't think in a healthy way.